Hello, welcome to another InfoBoxing. I just turn the camera around a little bit without losing the green screen there. Today I am InfoBoxing the search for Planet X from Renegade Games and Foxtrot Games, and this recently delivered to backers. This is the Kickstarter version, but actually what they did was include the deluxe components in a separate box, so I can talk you through what is the difference between the Kickstarter and the retail version. Basically everything you see over here is retail. Within the Kickstarter you did get these upgraded tokens, plastic tokens, but the little miniature is from the retail version. So in here you'll see cardboard versions of all these tokens, but this is retail. So you just won't have this nice way of storing them and these plastic, really kind of poker chip style, kind of weighted tokens, which are nice, but not necessary, just a little visual upgrade. So the Search for Planet X is a deduction game, and we have in the game some shields. I'm going to put most of these in here, and these shields are to shield your pad where you're going to be writing all your information down, and they also give you all the information on the back about the turn overview, different phases, what the endgame scoring is, and most importantly the internal logic for the game. So in the Search for Planet X you have a you're looking up at the sky. The sky is split into either 12 or 18 sectors depending on which difficulty level you play, and you are going to have a certain number of objects. Each sector can only hold one object maximum. So you're going to have 2 comets, 4 asteroids, 1 dwarf planet, 2 truly empty sectors. Planet X does appear in an empty sector on most scans. 1 Planet X and 2 gas clouds. If you play the advanced version, you're going to have 4 dwarf planets. And if you are playing the advanced version, they come with these little cards that just slip in here to give you the new rules, which is quite a clever way of dealing with it. And then you have the logic rules, so they're always in front of you. Comets can only be located in particular sectors, as shown on your note sheets. Each asteroid is adjacent to at least one other asteroid in a group of pairs or a group of 4. Dwarf planet is not adjacent to Planet X. Remember, Planet X appears, that's what I did wrong last night when I played it. Didn't read that one. Remember, Planet X appears in an empty sector. Every gas cloud is adjacent to at least one truly empty sector. So those are all your starting logic rules that everyone starts with. Then you have the part of the board, which I'm going to leave out for now, with the sun there. We have these pads which appear like this, and they highlight which sectors. Oh, I see what they've done. So you have the summer solstice, the autumn equinox, but they're not actually different. We thought they were because the comets were in different places, but you're just starting with different numbers. But these have what could be in every sector. So the comets is listed on there where they could be. As you can see in this clean, unblemished one, you have notes which look complicated, but they're really not. Here I was doing scans, so I wrote down a scan for comets between sectors 2 and 7, and I was told there was 1. Everyone knew what I was scanning for and which sector, but they didn't know my result. And here was what my opponent was doing. Then you can do research, which gives you new, unique rules for that game. So anyone who scans will get, anyone who does that research will get those same rules. You have the cardboard components, which are just theory tokens to mark your theories about where things are. You have the rules, which are quite short. There is one important component for this game that is not in the box, and that is your smart device. You do need a smart device with a downloaded app for this game because that manages the game. And it does mean you can play it over Skype. Now, the preferred way of doing that would be having 2 copies, but we managed last night on a shoestring and a prayer to play with only 1 copy with 2 players. And that's because the app gives you all the rules. You type in a code, one player sets it up, it gets a 4-digit code, you give that to the other person and they can then join in. So let's take a look at the board because this is the most important thing. And depending again on which where you're playing. This is the expert side with the bigger map. The smaller map is the not so expert size. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pop the bit here in here, and this wooden, let's do it that way. Oh, it actually has a sun pattern on it, nice. So you'll start with it on number 1, and this shows you the visible sky. So we have 1 to 6 is visible, so we can search the visible sky. We can search a sector between, we could search a sector of 1, but that's going to move us forward on the time track more. The time track around the outside operates like a bit like patchwork, where you're going to move forward in the time track depending on what actions you take, and the player at the back of the time track is going to be the next one to move. So you kind of want to be efficient in your deductions there. The rules, the logic rules really help you decide what you're kind of going to go for and what you're doing. And they work really well. Once you've got those asteroids down, you have a lot of information. If you've done some research, you're going to have information that will really help you pin down some of these things. When I first started playing, I was like, how am I going to guess anything? But then it became apparent. And actually, because of this visible sky that moves around as you take actions, it will always move to join the back player. So if I just grab one of these markers, let's say we've got a yellow player, go back up here, a yellow player and a purple player. The purple player takes a 3-time action, they move forward. Yellow player then does the same, they go in front of them, so they won't take 2 goes in a turn. This will move forward to there, but we hit an icon first, and this is the theory stage. During the theory stage, you're allowed to submit 1 theory in the standard mode or 2 theories in the expert mode. And what you're saying is, you're saying, I think something is in this sector, and that's one of the ways you get points. So if I know where a dwarf planet is, they're worth some of the most points. I might say, I think there's something in sector 2. Now, everyone else can go in the same sector at the same time, but crucially, it's played face down, because as at the end of this little bit, everything moves down one. When it gets to here, you have peer review, and you flip over any that have reached this space, and the app will tell you if they're correct or not. And if they are, you get points for being the first person. Any that are wrong behind it will be moved forward on the time track and won't get points at the end. But if you're right, you get points for being right in any location. But if you're first, you get a bonus point, which could be crucial. Last night it wasn't, because I was rubbish at guessing where Planet X was. So during the course of the game, you're going to have these tokens kind of popped out in different colours and different places. And then when you hit the Planet X symbol, which there's 1 in standard and 2 in the expert game, you'll get another bit of crucial information from the app. We checked our information that we got was the same, it wasn't different. So you're all getting the same information from the app. However, the information, how you use that information is what is different. When someone locates Planet X, which costs 5 time to do, you have to locate, you have to say where Planet X is, and you have to know what is either side of Planet X. So if I thought Planet X was 10, I would need to know what was in the sector either side of it as well. Then the game will end, and it's not over, because you will take 5 steps on the time track, and if people behind you can also guess where Planet X is, they will get points depending on how far behind they are on the time track, which means that if you've been really efficient but you just didn't get to guess Planet X first, then you've got a chance of getting the same amount of points as the person who did guess Planet X first. So really, these theories of knowing what's on the entire map, even though it gives other people information, that's where the key scoring will come in, especially when you're matched against someone equal. Like I wasn't the other day, I was matched against Fiona from the Game Shelf, who just takes the opportunity to beat me at board games every week. So this all goes back in the box. If you did get the deluxe version, there's plenty of space for it to be, the little game trays to be stored on top of the components. It all fits back in the box. This is available to pre-order on Zatu for, I think, less than £30. And from just one play, this is one of my, this and Awkward Guests are my 2 favourite deduction games. This one has slightly less information sharing than Awkward Guests, but the way the app runs it is really cool. I really like, they've thought of everything in terms of the player screens and everything. You get all the relevant information. So that is an InfoBoxing, a quick overview of the search for Planet X, and I'll be hoping to review this one pretty soon because I know a few people who've got this, so we're going to play it over Skype. Thanks very much for joining us live on Zatu. We will see you, of course, next time.